Alright, welcome to my Sorare beginner's guide for the 2022-2023 season. Giving it a little update because the last time I did it we didn't even have limited cards on the platform, so let's get straight into it. To start Sorare, the best way to do that is with someone's link. Mine will be in the description if you want to use that. That'll mean I'll get paid, which is absolutely fantastic. But alternatively, more importantly, for you, it will mean you'll get a free card. Recently, they've not been too special in terms of like value-wise, because you can obviously sell these cards for money, or in this case, Ethereum. But, you know, it's better than nothing, basically. So sign up with someone's affiliate link. If you've already signed up and you didn't use someone's link, that's fine. You can actually delete your account if you haven't made any progress. But alternatively, if you've already signed up, you don't want to delete your account, you just want to get on with it, it's not going to be too much of a hassle. You can roll on with this. I didn't start with someone's affiliate link. To start Sorare, you're going to need a cryptocurrency wallet. The reason for that is that the whole game runs on the cryptocurrency Ethereum. It's going to sound a little bit complicated, but trust me, it's really not that hard once you get into it. It's just trading out, sterling and dollars for cryptocurrency to make it easier for everyone. In terms of which cryptocurrency wallet to download, I would highly suggest MetaMask. The reason for that is it's by far the most popular, so if you're stuck on it, if you need any sort of help, there'll always be tutorials on how to do it, because obviously Sorare is not the only game that uses MetaMask. In terms of downloading it, all you need to do is Google it, and don't just click the first link. Make sure you're looking at metamask.io, because that is the official link. That's how you won't get scammed. You'll have the right one and you'll be absolutely fine. Simply, you just download it, you make a password, you save down your phrases so you can restore it. Essentially, these 12 words and the password are the way to access your account. So do not share them with anyone. Make sure they're secret, they're safe, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Once you're set up, you will then be able to fund your account. There's multiple ways to do it. If you know cryptocurrency, you can go through Coinbase and transfer it to your wallet. Alternatively, if you're more of a fiat guy, you deal with sterling, you deal with pounds, you don't care about crypto, you can go and just go with one of these. You can top up with a card or with Ramp. Basically, if you click on, say for example, Ramp, it will give you a suggestion of, all right, so if you were to put in £255, you get this much ETH, you process it, it'll go through to your card. And then finally, if you were to look at a card on the market, you can just go straight into it. And if I was to bid on one of these players here, so 67p, 77p is the next bid, you can go on your credit card, it'll be down there, you click bid, it'll come straight out there. As a beginner, it's probably best to use the last method if you don't know cryptocurrency, because it makes it that little bit easier. When you're new to Sorare, you're going to want to know how the game works, and I think the easiest and most important thing to get started on is the Scarcities. So there's 5 different types of Scarcities. You have your white cards, which are common, and they have an unlimited amount of supply. Then you have your yellow cards. These are 1 of 1,000, which means there's up to 1,000 cards of that particular player each season. These are known as limiteds. Then, of course, you filter down into your rare cards, which are 1 of 100 and are in red, your 1 of 10s, which are super rares in blue, and then your 1 of 1s, which are your uniques in black. In terms of starting, let's forget about super rares, let's forget about uniques, because they're going to be far too expensive for anyone. Even the 1 of 100 rares are going to be pretty expensive. What you'll see on screen is that 4 of the Mbappes have the exact same photo, and 1 of them looks a bit older. The reason for that is that super rare, the 1 of 10, is actually from last season. The reason I've done that is to show you that no matter what season the card's from, you will still have that utility of the card. So Sorare is different in terms of gambling, where with a bet, you lose your money and it's gone. But where with Sorare cards, you can buy this player, you have their utility for the rest of their life. This means that if, for example, Mbappe was to move to Real Madrid, if you had his PSG card, you would still get his Real Madrid scores, which is fantastic. The only caveat to that is if they move to an unscored league, such as maybe the Saudi league, one of the more obscure leagues, but Sorare do try and cover as many leagues as possible. So now you know the different Scarcities. You probably already have some if you've already signed up, because you get a load of common cards for free to test out the platform. You'll probably want to know how to play them. So in terms of playing them, you go to the play section, which is at the top left, and then there's 3 different types of game weeks. You have the one that's just gone, so this one's closed and completed. You can see how you've done last week. The one that's currently live, so you can see how your players are doing in the moment. And then the one for next week where you have, currently in this situation, I have 14 hours left to set my teams before they're locked and you can't make any more changes. In terms of game weeks, it's pretty simple. You have your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. That will be 1 game week, which is kind of your midweek game week. And then you'll have your weekend game week, which will cover the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday games. That will be continuous throughout the year, so that shouldn't change. In terms of then playing your cards, obviously you're looking for the open game week, so I'm going to click the last one on the right here, and then you'll come into this screen. There's If you were to click this button here, the common, you'll see all the different types of scarcities. So I have a lot of limited cards. I could go in and enter a card here. But as a new beginner, you want to start for free, or you want to start for as low as possible, because obviously you want to learn what's good before spending a load of money. The way to do that is the casual league here. If you look here, you can see how many rewards are on offer. So there's 100 limited cards, yellow cards, the yellow cards you can sell, and a load of common cards, which are your white cards, which are, can't sell them. It's just for learning the game. In terms of training, that's just kind of an XP builder. You can pretty much forget that for now. But if you want to play the game, you go into the casual league for free, and this is where you can set your lineups. Basically, you select everyone with a game. So NG here means no game, so I obviously wouldn't pick him. And then you'll pick a goalkeeper, a defender, a midfielder, attacker, and an extra card. So in this position, I'm actually playing someone with no game. The reason for that is that all of my cards, because it's a quiet off-season at the moment, no one actually has a game that can play there. But basically, if you were to go and click into the league, you can see the details here. So that's my team. You can see the details of what's allowed. You can see the matches and the fixtures. So, at the moment, it's just mainly MLS fixtures. And then most importantly, for the newcomers, they want to see the prize pool. So for first place, you get a tier 1 limited. Now, of course, so many people play this casual league, so it's pretty hard to get. But if you do win, you can sell that tier 1. And I would say tier 1's probably in the region of £100 to £200 in terms of limit card. Obviously, it depends which one you get. But it's pretty good for a free-to-play model. So it's definitely, you definitely have a chance to win, no matter how many people play. Alternatively to the casual league, we have this brand new academy league. This is set up for the beginners, so listen closely here. This is basically the first footstep into the pay-to-play model. The casual league's free to play, and you can grind that as much as you want. But of course, there's so many people that play it. If you do want to see, you can see the participants here. It says 45,000 people you've got to compete with, whereas in the academy, there's only 32,000. But you're not even competing against them. Let me explain why. So if you come over to the prize pool here, you can see that you actually just need scores to win. So over 410 points will get you a tier 2 limited, which you can sell. In terms of tiers, it goes from tier 3 to tier 2 to tier 1 to tier 0, also known as a star tier. So the lower the number, basically, the better it's going to be. If I just flick back to the casual league so you don't forget, in this, you need to come in the top 100 to get a card which is sellable. Outside of that, you're going to get your common cards, which will help you get better scores in the division. But of course, everyone wants the cards which you can sell now. So if I flick back to the academy, you can see the prize pool is just against yourself. So it doesn't matter how many people compete, because you're just playing against your own scores. You need to score 410 points. And I'll explain how the point system works a little later. But for now, we're looking at the cards you need to enter. So in this league, you have a common cards, right? So you can enter as many of those as you want, but you can use a limited cards for a maximum of 2. So if you could use cards for free, why would you then pay to play cards? It's quite simple. If I was to replace one of these with, one of my cards, which is, a paid card, for example, Neymar here, you can see he gets a 40% bonus. So he gets a 40% scarcity bonus here compared to Eden Hazard, not because he's a better player, because he's a paid card. So it helps you win, it helps you get better cards. It's transitioning you into that pay to play model. Just to summarize that then, if you don't want to put any money at all into the platform, you can play the casual method. That will help you, progress, learn the game, learn the scoring. Once you're, confident enough, or if you want to put a little bit of money in, you can play the academy. The reason for playing this is that it's actually easier to win cards because you're not playing against everyone else, you're just playing against yourself. And of course, you get the bonuses from using pay-to-play cards. You don't need to go out and get Neymars or Mbappes, any of those players. You can go out and just spend £2, £3, £4, put a little team together, see how it does. Of course, typically, the more expensive a card is, the better it is, but that's just because that's a free market, so more people will want them, demand goes up. So now you might know which league you want to play in. If you want to get some cards, you can go to the market here, and there's 2 different types of market. There's either your manager sales, this is basically your peer-to-peer selling, so I could have a card for sale, you can either make an offer for that card, or you can just buy it now. And then alternatively, there's some new card auctions. These are all coming from Sorare, so Sorare sell all of the auction cards. You can't auction your cards themselves. If you've used someone's affiliate link, mine's still in the description by the way, when you purchase 5, you get a free card. That can be sold, of course. In order to get that, you'll need to use the auctions, so 5 auctions. People normally rush through that to get auctions out of the way so they can get their free card. I wouldn't rush into it. Just, when you need an auction, go and get one. That will help you get your card. Alternatively, it's just kind of what do you prefer? Have you got the time to wait for the auction, or do you just want to go out and get them now? So you might be like, okay, well, I want to get some cards, but how do I know I'm not, paying over the top for them? And this is without doubt the most important thing for any Sorare manager, and everyone will tell you it. It is called Sorare data. So you just go and search for it. I have it up here, for example, so soraredata.com. It's all linked to your Sorare account, so you don't need to sign up or anything like that. Currently, it's all free to use, which is fantastic, and it will show you basically a Bible on the whole game. You know, you can schedule, you can make predictive lineups, you can see the cost of players, you can see their last scores, you can see how the scoring matrix works, absolutely everything. So for example, now let me just look up a card that, you know, everyone will know. So for example, I can look at Mbappe, if I could spell his name. So go and looking at Mbappe, there's all these different things to drill into. I think for a new beginner, you can start with price graph. It basically shows this graph over time. This is priced in Ethereum. I'll show you my video here on why I think you should value in fiat. You know, for me, I prefer valuing in fiat, which is basically your sterling, dollars, euros. I'm going to look at the sterling graph here, and it will show me, you know, the floor here, which is the cheapest you could pick them up right now, and then some recent sales. So the last sale went for £2,360, which is obviously a massive amount of money. But of course, Mbappe is, you know, probably one of the best players on the planet, and he's under 23. He's only 23 years old, which means he has so many years left of utility. So that's why it's so expensive. There's plenty of cheaper alternatives. For example, one that I always liked, and I'm not sure if he's a perfect bargain now because I'm not sure he's going to play next season, but everyone knows him. Jan Vertonghen, you know, ex-Tottenham, plays for Belgium. So here you can see his different prices. Of course, you can filter by different scarcities, but for now, we'll just stick with limiteds because I think that's probably where most of you are going to start off. You can hover over his last auction, which is basically the blue dot. You can see it sold there. The last peer-to-peer sale was at £20. And then you can see his last average scores of, you know, 58 across the last 15, 56 across the last 40 games, and a last 5 games average of 54. If you want to see how he scores in terms of, like, you know, what he does, you can see this graph and, you know, okay, he got a DMP here, so he got a 0. Why was that? Okay, it was Wales playing for his national team. Obviously, as he gets on, he's not going to be playing every national team. And then, of course, you can drill down into how he actually scores. So, for example, when he played Sporting, you can click into the game here. You can see how everyone scored, how they lined up. Absolutely fantastic. And if you click on Jan Vertonghen, you can see exactly all of his scores. So all round is basically all of your scoring in terms of, like, making a pass, making a foul will get you negative points. That will show you there. Being a defender, he'll get more points for defensive action. So, you know, winning tackles. In this game, he won none, so that's not exactly helpful. But he did make a block, so that'll get him 2. The reason why I picked this game specifically is because he got an assist. That will add a decisive score. So once you get that decisive score, you can't get less than that unless you get a negative decisive, which will be a red card, an own goal, something like that. But basically, that's what makes up his points. It scores out of 100. You can't get more than 100, of course. You can't get less than 0. And you can just drill down. You can go through the complete matrix, which, for example, possession lost is -1 point. So when he lost 11 possessions, he left 11 points. So you can help understand the matrix as far as you want. Alternatively, for a new beginner, I just think of it like this. Goals and assists are good. Red cards and own goals are bad. Passes and everything else in between are kind of scored pretty fairly to what you'd expect. So making passes, good. Losing passes, bad. For now, that's where I'm going to leave it. If you did like this video, please subscribe. If you want to learn a little bit more in terms of, all right, I want to put in, say, let's say anywhere between £50 and £2,000, that will be my next video on what to do in the series. But beyond that, please like, please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. All the best to you. Cheers.